Hello again. First off, I want to thank you for all your wonderful comments, all your input that we've gained after the last video. After we shared that very shortly, we're going to launch the Master Your Mind course. We're collecting them, and in the next video, we'll try to answer all the most important questions that have come in from you. And yeah, today I'm also very excited to share that we are going to offer another powerful tactic, another powerful practice, one of my favorites, that is going to truly help you to start off every day very different, prioritizing and protecting those things that are most important to you, and basically learning a beautiful way to start your day that will shift how your day feels and what you'll be able to get done, and how you will be able to focus more on those things that are important to you rather than getting sucked into a lot of requests and priorities and to-do lists of other people. But before that, I firstly want to remind you of what we shared last time about the opportunity that we would like to present to you with the Master Your Mind course. And at the same time share how I've experienced over the years that this opportunity is different. You might have tried many courses, you might have tried different programs, you might have read different books. And from my experience, from having seen most of the offerings out there on the topic of really reclaiming your time, reclaiming your focus, and moving closer to a life that is aligned with your values and your purpose, is that most of what's out there is focusing on horizontal development. This means that you are presented with a lot of tools, a lot of practices, a lot of frameworks, often very good ones. However, as I shared last time, the size of our cup, so to speak, is limited. The size of how much actually sticks and how much we're able to integrate into our life is limited. And therefore, unfortunately, many programs, many courses start very ambitious. We really go for it. But then after days or after weeks, we see that many of the things have slipped away and they haven't become a reality in our life. And this is why I've also seen this happening in the last years, having worked with thousands of very talented individuals in some of the most innovative companies out there, that basically most of what is being offered, including in those companies, is simply not sticking. So I've tried to really pinpoint the main issues with most of the things out there and really make the Master Your Mind course in such a way that it focuses on horizontal development first. We teach you how to make your cup bigger, how to increase the capacity and space in your mind, in your brain, in your attention, so that you can actually integrate more of what you're learning. So you can actually see that the insights and the ahas convert into behavior changes, habitual changes, new mindsets, new mentalities that you'll start seeing, implementing and integrating in the way you work, in the way you live, and in the way you relate with others. So the opportunity here is to see what it's like to really dive into a vertical development course that doesn't just share incredibly powerful frameworks and practice with you, but takes you by the hand in increasing your cup size, your capacity to actually integrate more of what you're learning. And on top of that, to gain deep insights and understandings into the workings of your mind, into the workings of your attention, and start seeing how much of the time our attention is actually going in all kinds of places that we do not want it to go, and how we can reclaim that attention, reclaim that focus, and choose where we decide to spend it on. So, reminder, I'm John Putz. I will be the facilitator of the Master Your Mind course. Previously, I worked in the tech world, mostly at the European headquarters of Google. These days, since the last 4 years or so, I've been a speaker, a facilitator, and a trainer, working in some of the most innovative companies out there, like Google, Vinted, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Bol.com, Get Your Guide, Booksy, and so on. And I've really had the chance to work with many people, try out different things. I've been certified in the Search Inside Yourself program, which was developed at Google. I'm a certified Make Time teacher, another beautiful program supporting people in making time for what matters most. And I've been able to integrate these together with my own experience in some of the most potent and powerful practices that I have seen really work. On top of that, I've been through my own journey with understanding the workings of my mind and my attention. I've meditated over 700 hours in the last 10 years. I've been on many retreats, many silence retreats. So I know what it's like to sit with your inner world, to really observe and learn from what is exactly happening in your mind with your attention. And over time, I've seen tremendous changes happening in my ability to focus, in my ability to reclaim a lot of the time and energy that was being spent on many things that I actually didn't want to spend it on, and how to start really shifting the way I live, the type of people I surround myself with, the type of career I step into. I've seen myself shifting from working in a career as a product lead, which in many ways had good things to it, but wasn't really aligned with who I am and what I wanted to bring into the world, to being a facilitator, a trainer, and a coach, working with incredible humans, talking about what's really important, having authentic connections and conversations, and supporting people like yourself in actually extracting or igniting the deeper potential that lies dormant in you, that keeps you from stepping into the most alive version of yourself that truly knows why you're here and what is yours to do in life and in career. So the possibilities with the Master Your Mind course that I want to share with you is just a few pointers about how your life might change. So I usually like to share a quote from Alan Watts, one of my favorite philosophers, who said that the mind is a great servant, but a terrible master. So what this means is that our mind is such a potent, powerful tool that can become the servant of us, bringing about great change and transformation in our lives and in the world. It can become an instrument, an extension of our deeper gifts and values and strength to come out into the world, in our jobs, in our careers, in our businesses, in our projects, and so on. But we will not experience this as long as our mind is our master. We've seen in the studies that around 50% of the time, our mind is wandering into all kinds of directions that we do not want. And we can learn how to notice this, how to catch this quicker and quicker and bring it back, so we learn to focus on what we choose to. And this is how our mind becomes more and more our servant and becomes in alignment with what we truly want, rather than a busy, noisy, distracted mind that simply goes to whatever catches its attention. So you'll see that you can start beating distractions, beating all the ways how you get off track from what's important to you. You can start noticing that your mind starts wandering less and less. You'll start noticing that you'll notice it quicker when your mind wanders. You'll see what it feels like to increase your laser focus anytime you work on a task, anytime you have a conversation with someone. You'll see what it's like to be fully in the present with that task, fully focused on what you're doing, rather than basically losing your attention all the time and not getting that deeper connection and commitment to what you're doing. And also with scenario cards, which has already been an amazing tool to help you reflect on what you want, on the different possibilities that you have, the Master Your Mind course will actually take this further and help you to bring those deeper understandings and deeper intentions into reality, so that they can find their place in how you live and how you work and so on. And also you'll discover your core drainers, the things that keep happening in your day, in your week, whether it's people, places, habits, or activities, and you'll start learning how to one by one remove those drainers from your life. And also you'll be discovering your key energizers, which is the things that bring you alive, that motivate you, that align with your values, and you'll start increasing the amount of energizers you have in your life. So, as I said, I'd love to share one of my favorite tactics, which is called skip the morning check-in. This one comes from the Make Time framework and invites us into the following. When you wake up, what I see most of us do, including myself sometimes, is we grab our phone and we start checking the usual apps that take a lot of our attention away. We open our email, we open WhatsApp, we open YouTube, we open Instagram, Twitter, or other things that often take us away into these deep rabbit holes of information, content, request, overwhelm. And afterwards, we start our day fully filled up with other people's to-do lists, with a lot of stuff that is either like impacted our mindset, impacted our mood, and we end up feeling a lot less energized and clear on what actually is the thing that we want to focus on the day. So what Skip the Morning Check-in invites us into is to skip this that we call the check-in. We do not open up any notifications. We don't check our email. We don't open up those infinity pools, as we call them in Make Time, like YouTube, like Instagram, like Twitter, that keep refreshing endless content when you swipe down, and it's never done. Because those apps are designed with such a frictionless experience that they exactly know how to understand human psychology and keep us hooked. So if you commit to skipping your morning check-in, and instead of that, you check in with yourself first, what it is that would make this day great for you, what it is that you want to focus on, what it is that you want to prioritize, you'll see that your day will start off with something that feels right and important to you. You can check those things, you can do the morning check-in after you've clarified your priorities and what's important for you, after you've made time for those into your day, maybe even schedule them into your calendar to solidify this. Afterward, you can build in some time to check your favorite apps. So you become the master of your mind rather than your mind being your master and basically throwing you into all kinds of things that will leave you feeling a lot more drained and a lot less effective throughout the rest of your day. So I'd love you to experiment with this. Try this out the next days. I'm very curious to hear how it goes. I'd love to hear comments. I'd love to hear questions if anything comes up, how the skip the morning check-in tactic can help you in focusing more on what matters and making time for what matters. And this is also one of the tactics that I've been able to share with one of the people that I've had the privilege of working with in the last year. This is a person that first came through one of my leadership programs at her company and afterwards worked more deeply with me in a one-on-one setting for a number of months. And it's been incredible to see her transformation. She moved from a very busy, noisy, distracted life, a busy mother of two with an ambitious job where she felt like she was always running behind the facts, a life where she didn't have time for the things that she loved most, where she didn't have proper time to spend with her family, where the weekends were often even filled with work, and where on Sunday she would often already drain the beginning of the next week. And with working with her and applying some of the things that we offer you in the Master Your Mind course, it's been incredible to see how now her life looks totally different. She is able to really start every day checking in with herself first. What are my priorities? What's important? And really schedule those in her calendar and make time for those. Not just work-related priorities, very much also personal priorities, things that she loves, things that bring her joy and that make her feel alive. She also has learned to set better boundaries. She learned how to really say no to the many requests that would come her way and only say yes to those that really matter. Whereas before she would say yes to many things that she didn't even want to say yes to. And before she knew it, her life was filled with distractions, with noise, with draining activities, and being at the end of the to-do list of others. This also resulted in her showing up with more confidence, with more clarity, with more of a sense of self-worth. And after a few months, she actually was asked to step into a promotion, into a leadership role, where now she is even more in alignment, doing even more what she loves in alignment with her values. So a beautiful example of what's possible if we really stick to it, we commit to it, we make our cup bigger, and we actually implement and apply these things in our life. So if you're still wondering, if you're on the fence, if you're not sure if it works, again, I'd like to remind you that all of what we share is backed by neuroscience. All of what we share has its roots and foundations in some of the proven programs like the Search Inside Yourself program developed at Google, like the Make Time framework. As well, if you're wondering if you have enough time for this, we intentionally chose this course to be self-paced so you can connect it to your lifestyle and your calendar. Again, the cost of the program is always another thing to consider. There's many things out there, but I really would like to remind you of the question, what is the cost of inaction? What is the cost of staying in the life, in the ways of working and living that you are currently at that do not feel like they serve you any longer? What is the cost of staying stuck in old paradigms, old belief systems, old conditioning that are keeping you away from taking ownership and autonomy of your life and really going for what you deserve? And finally, if you're worried about that it's hard for you to build habits, well, I'd like to remind you of the fact that we have a 28-day challenge in the Master Your Mind course, which allows you to actually implement and integrate what you've learned over 28 days in micro steps. Every day you'll be doing some of the things from 5 to 15 minutes max. Every day you'll also be able to apply some of the micro practices that we have in the course, which are short, bite-sized practices that you can do in less than a minute. So don't worry about this. We will support you along the way in actually making the learnings converted into changes, into habits and new behaviors. So that's it for today. I just want to briefly tell you what we're going to share with you in the next video after the weekend, where we're going to actually share some more color to how your life can actually look like after the course. What is it like when you take that ownership of your life and you start steering the wheel? And what this can look like can, of course, cover different dimensions. We will look at how it will change the way how you surround yourself with different people. You'll start seeing what it's like when you really know which people you want to have in your life, which relationships, which colleagues, and so on, so that they inspire you, they support you, and they want the best for you. You'll see what it's like to step into a career that is deeply in alignment with your values and your purpose. You'll see what it's like to start every day in a way that you first prioritize and protect what's most important to you and do not get lost and sucked away into to-do lists and requests of others that leave you feeling drained and unfulfilled. And you'll also start seeing what a life looks like when your days are filled with things that energize you and that are removing more and more drainers in your life, so you can stay true to what's most important to you, to your values, to your deeper intentions, and actually start seeing the transformation happen in your life. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. I would love to again invite any comments, any questions, any things that come up for you as you are watching these videos, and we will get into your comments and questions, and we'd love to see you in the Master Your Mind course soon.